Hey everyone, this is Kirk here again at optionalpha.com, where we show you how to make smarter trades. And in today's video, I want to go over a technical analysis study and how you can backtest actually all of the signals that you receive from these technical analysis indicators. So as many of you know, we use some technical analysis indicators as part of our own trading system. And I know a lot of people use technical analysis indicators, but it can sometimes be hard to know which ones actually work or which ones don't work. And so today what I wanted to do is just show you real quick what some of these technical analysis signals look like, and then how you can actually backtest a lot of these studies. So what I'm going to do here on my charts, and we just have a chart up here of the S&P 500, and what I just want to show you is just a quick MACD indicator. So down here below in the bottom section of the video, you can see we have these MACD 2 lines, which just shows a little bit of divergence and convergence, which generally signals a move in the market. So what you generally look for with a MACD signal is this cross of the slower moving or the faster moving indicator, which is the one in green, to cross above this slower moving indicator, which is the one in purple. Now when you get this cross, that's a bullish cross, it would basically signal that the market is ready to go higher. And you can see that that generally held true through this signal here on the S&P 500. And when you get a signal the other way, where the faster term indicator, which is in green, crosses below the slower term indicator, which is in purple, you get this sell signal. And again, it held true here as well on the S&P 500. So it's actually been fairly reliable and fairly consistent for the S&P, at least for these couple indicators and signals that we've seen recently. But the big question that I always had is, well, how does this indicator work long term? So one of the ways that we can do this and check ourselves and kind of test out different indicators to see what works on one particular stock versus another is to backtest a lot of these strategies. So what you want to do inside your Thinkorswim platform is go up here to the studies up in the top right hand corner. And so you're just going to click that studies right there. And the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to remove all the studies that we have on the chart right now. This just gives us a clean look at the charts. Then we're going to go back up to studies and we're going to go down to edit studies. Now inside of this edit studies screen, you can see that there's actually a tab up here for strategies. So instead of adding an actual study, which shows MACD and all these lines that we just took a look at, we're actually going to add a whole strategy. And this is going to give us signals that are actually right on the actual chart. Instead of us having to interpret if it's a buy signal or a sell signal, it's going to actually generate these signals over the course of the chart that we're looking at. So in here, what you can do is just type in any strategy that you want to look at. And in this case, we'll look at the MACD strategy. And so once it pulls up the MACD strategy, you can see that it's already preset for just the default strategy inside the system. So all we're going to do is hit OK, and now you can see that this gives us these buy or sell signals basically exactly where we had looked and already seen those crosses, but now it's actually on the chart. So it's showing us these buy and sell signals that are actually on the chart. So this, again, really helps kind of clean up your chart so you can see the signals on the chart. But even more so than that is what we can do is we can actually go back in time. So let's actually go back the last 15 years or last 10 years here for S&P 500. And you can see it looks like kind of riddled with all these signals, which seems to be okay because the market's always moving and it has ebbs and flows. But now what we can do is just right click on any of these signals. So you can do it on any of the wording here, no matter where you do it, just right click on them. And once you go ahead and right click on them, you'll have the opportunity to go down here and it says show report. So what this report is going to do is it's going to show us all of these signals and tell us whether or not these signals actually generated a profitable return over the course of the last 10 years looking at these signals. So when I click show report here, it brings up this nice little report here that says, okay, from the last 10 years, which is basically 4/7 through 3/23 at the time we're doing this video, here's every single time that we bought to open, the amount, the price, the time, did we make money or did we lose money, etc., etc., etc. You go down to the very, very bottom of the report, and you can see that at the end of 10 years trading just this MACD, exactly how it was set up, you had a total P&L or profit and loss of $1,141. Now, that to me isn't that great given that you're trading 100 shares of the S&P 500. It doesn't seem like you made that much money, but you still made money at the end, and the number of trades that you entered was about 425 different trades. So commissions obviously would have taken a lot out of that profit and loss, but that's not counting this in this. But the key here is that this is able to then go back in time and actually backtest all of this trading data to see, hey, does MACD work the way it is right here on the S&P or versus Google or Apple or whatever the case is. So now that you have this actually open, you can just type in any other ticker symbol. So let's type in Google, for example, and you can see that the strategy is also prevalent on Google. Again, we can do the same thing. We can just right click on any of these wordings and go down to show report. It's going to give us the aggregate report of our potential profit and loss trading MACD with Google. Now you can see with Google versus the S&P 500, your total P&L was 31,328. Much, much better than if you were to trade MACD on the S&P. So this again gives you an idea of which stocks actually work better with MACD versus don't work as well with MACD or any other strategy that you want to use. Again, with Google, we had almost 373 different trades. And so that just gives you an idea of how many times you're going to be in and out of the security. Now, one quick thing I want to show you is that you can actually adjust these studies to make them a little bit different and kind of test different parameters. So one thing that we might want to do is test a different length of time between the indicators. So maybe instead of 12 and 26, we might do 15 and 30. Okay, so just a small tweak in the indicator, and we'll see how that result carries over to our actual profit and loss. And you can see that the result carries over, and we actually made a little bit more money just with a very small tweak to how the indicator shows up. So this gives us a little bit more confidence knowing going forward that we are able to make a lot more money trading MACD around Google than we are with the S&P 500. So I hope this video has been really helpful. We're actually in the middle of creating a huge case study and report on all of these different signals with a lot of different securities covering the last 15 to 20 years and multiple different testing time frames to see which indicators are the most profitable and most consistent as far as their win rate going back historically. So we'll definitely let you guys know when that report is available. And as always, happy trading.